So the final game of the Rugby Championship 2018. Australia are travelling to Argentina for one last shot at redemption for Michael Cheika. Under a fair bit of pressure, their record in the Rugby Championship so far, 1 win, 4 losses. Not looking good going into a World Cup year. For the Pumas, it's actually been a pretty rapid turnaround with Ledesma taking over. The results have been immediate, and whilst there are only 2 wins into the tournament, I feel like based on the improvement we've shown, even if they lose this final game, I think most people will still give them a passing grade for their performances. They got a win in Australia. That was this one in week 4. 23-19, and they played well against the All Blacks in New Zealand. Their most recent result against the All Blacks in Argentina was probably the most disappointing one. They beat the Box over in Argentina, and they kind of dominated large periods of that game. They found a lot of space out wide, so it'll kind of be an interesting one to see how this final game goes after, like I said, a bit of a letdown last week, but both teams certainly have to prove that they can perform better than they did in the previous week. As I said, there's a fair bit of pressure on Michael Cheika. Results have not been going well. His selections are under question. His tactics especially are under a fair bit of scrutiny. Argentina, of course, at home, would like to get another win because, I mean, you want to keep those home fans happy. They've had 1 win against the Box. If they were to go 2 losses, as I said, it would still be a pass for their Rugby Championship season, but would just put a little bit of a dampener on it that it kind of tailed off towards the last 2 games when it should be kind of going from strength to strength at home. I will put the teams in the description so you guys can have a look, but there's a few changes on both sides. For Argentina, Escura is out, so De La Fuente moves from 13 into 12. Orlando moves from the bench to take that 13 jersey. Unfortunately, after that incident last week, Bautista Delgui is ruled out of this game, but kind of a good news, bad news thing is that Moyano is back on the left wing, so that's good news if you're an Argentinian fan. Moroni moves to the right wing, so we haven't... I mean, to be fair, I feel like they look best with Moyano, Delgui and Boffelli. When there's one piece missing, it's not quite been the same, but, you know, Moroni's no slouch, so we'll see how they go. Their scrum is certainly going to have to front up because it's probably been one of the weaker aspects of that Argentinian team this Rugby Championship season. It wasn't a strength of the Jaguares, and it has not proven so in the Rugby Championship either. They were absolutely dominated by the All Blacks in that area last week, so if there's one area you would want to improve, that's the one. For the Aussies, the experiment, I'm not sure if it's over, but it's on hold with Kurtley Beale at 10. He has moved back out to his more natural 12. Foley is in at 10. Tamua moves to the bench. Kind of 1 from 4. The last 2 results not being great ones. I guess it was kind of only a matter of time before he changed something there. The front row is Sio, Fainga'a, and Tupou, so it's a pretty young front row. Kind of, as I said with the Argentinians, they need to improve. This is a chance for these guys to show that they can equally dominate the same way that those All Blacks, without Franks, can. Although Tuinukuafe has been a big impact for the All Blacks, so it's a chance. I mean, Taniela Tupou has a lot of talk about him all the time as being, you know, he's only 22. He's already playing international level for the Wallabies, so as always, since his schoolboy days, there's been a lot of talk about him. So it's a good chance for him to put his hand up because he's not had that many caps for the Wallabies and certainly not that many starts, but he does start in this one. It is good to see Timu on the bench. Hopefully he can bring a bit of impact because he's been a bit hit and miss in the Wallabies jersey, but he's certainly good for the Reds. Maddox is injured, so we get to see Tom Banks on the bench. Hopefully we get to see him running around a bit. Against those Argentinian back 3 could be quite a spectacle if either side gets running with the ball because there's definitely some excitement machines in those teams. The bookies are saying the Argentinians by 1 point. So they're picking this to be a very close one. I don't know who the favourite is for mine. the Wallabies are in such poor form of the whole. They've played 5 games and it hasn't clicked for them at all. They've probably looked good at most for 40 minutes at any one point in this rugby championship. It's still been good moments, but over 80 minutes, it's not been classic stuff. So call me in a fool, but I keep feeling like they're not that far from getting it right. Maybe this is going to be that week when they finally think, oh, the hell with it, we'll just try something we haven't tried, or we'll go back to something that used to work for us. I don't know. If it's the same old, they could be in trouble, but yeah, I still feel like they can click and they can be a much better team than what we have seen from them. The Pumas have been a very exciting team to watch. Exciting back row, good young locks. Outside backs are fantastic. Sanchez has been pulling the strings. Bertranou has been doing well at number 9. If the front row can stand up, and Sanchez perhaps calms down just a little bit, because I feel like the All Blacks got under his skin a little bit and made him make some poor decisions. If they take those out of their game, they're definitely going to be hard to stop at home. Like I said, bookies have them by 1. Will the Wallabies kick the Falau is a question I want to see, because none of those... I mean, Boffelli's a pretty big guy, but there's not that many kind of Israel Falau guys in terms of size in the Argentinian set of backs. So we will see if that is an option. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. How's the Aussie lineout going to go? That's another question. It's the Aussie lineout versus the Argentinian scrum. Which one is going to come right first? But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.